I might get a little kickback there, but
Okay, so hey everyone, I have Dan Hilsman online right now with me, and let me see if we get in the feed. I'm gonna try to tag him real quick before we get started. So let's see. Yes, let me go ahead and get you tagged if I can. Let's see, edit post. Okay. Okay, then I got you tagged, so we're good to go. So, hey, thanks for coming on board for my Monday motivation today and everything. I've really been looking forward to talking with you. And you've done an incredible amount of real estate. Been in real estate since '91, if I recall.
Yeah, for a little while. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, wow. So you've been in real estate for more than many agents I know have been around alive. So tell us a little bit, how did you get into real estate back in the 90s and everything? And, give us a little bit of a history of how the industry has progressed, what kind of roles you've taken along the way. And, I know you've got a lot of stories through all your experiences going from a solo agent to I know you've been a broker in charge, you've been a broker associate, team leader, and own your own brokerage. So, give us a little flavor of what you've been through in this journey.
I don't know. When I was a little kid, we go see grandma. We'd drive through an expensive part of Atlanta on the way to her house. And I always thought the houses looked pretty cool, wondered what they looked like on the inside. Not that I ever really moved into luxury, but I guess even as a little kid, I was kind of interested in houses for some weird reason. And was an adolescent treatment. I worked at an adolescent treatment center. That's where I met my wife and got a real estate license, kind of like a part-time thing. And I thought, because I worked early, like a 7 to 3 shift and off every other weekend. So I thought, I could probably pull off a little bit of real estate here and there. And it was always an interest of mine. So I got licensed and couldn't get a lender to get anyone approved. They said, down there, turn down there, turn down. So back then you could just actually wake up and go, you are a loan officer. I dubbed myself a loan officer, right? So no license needed, no numbers. So I went to work for a mortgage company just so I could figure out how people could get pre-approved. Even knowing nothing, I thought, well, that's kind of a bad attitude. I say that jokingly. What do you mean it's not like a life sentence. They can't not ever get a loan. So let's, get to work and turn this into a positive and figure out what they have to do to get pre-approved to buy a house. So I thought, heck, I'll just do it myself. So kind of did that and sold a few houses mostly. Then I started doing mortgages at a pretty high level for about 10 years and did real estate part-time. Then got the guy I was working with, he had a little trouble with his company. So they were going to close. And when they decided to close, I thought I'd just go into real estate full-time. And, kind of got pushed into it a little bit. I was kind of always wanting to do it, was kind of afraid. And I was even afraid then, but, it was the timing was right and that I'd either pivot, go to a different mortgage company, kind of sort of start all over, or just get licensed. So long story short, I was a struggling agent for quite a while. Then I was okay solo agent. And I had the bright idea probably 20 years ago, hey, I got an idea. I'll get my broker's license, own my own place and keep all the money.
Almost every agent's dream, right?
Yeah. So if anybody's thinking about that, call Chris or myself and we'll either help you do it or talk you off the ledge, one or the other. So, I misstepped with not knowing what I didn't know, overhead. And, then one day I thought, man, I've done so much today, but I didn't even do anything with real estate, dealt with MLS, 1099, stuff. Right. And so jokingly, I tell people I would look in the mirror and ask that guy for help and he couldn't help me. The broker and the owner both couldn't help me, but I was both. So I thought, I got to get out of here. Luckily, a friend said, hey, come work for me. I've got you can be the BIC. I've got 9 agents. So inherited 9 agents. And that was good. That was a learning experience, made a little bit of money. But the problem was I negotiated a pretty bad split and because he's a friend. And but I learned a lot. And that was good. And then a team leader. And then I found DXP about a little bit over 4.5 years ago. And I guess I'm one of the guys that kind of saw it and really understood the model and thought, don't know for sure. I'm old enough to know that everything doesn't work, but just maybe this is what they say it is. And I think I can work different parts of the model and have success. And that's how we got here today, Chris.
I can see you're definitely one of the folks that have taken the opportunity and run with it.
Yeah, well, it's harder than most people think, but very rewarding, right?
Yes, I know. Last time I think we talked, you were very close to a pretty big milestone. Have you reached that yet?
No, but the market kind of kicked me in the rear end there, and but making a little bit of ground up, and happy to kind of stay treading as far as that part of the count goes, and slight gains, but heck, I would have been there 6-7 months ago if we didn't start having bringing on 30 and have 30 off board, and so kind of
Yeah, it's still an impressive accomplishment. Just for the benefit of the listeners, how many agents do you have in your repertoire organization right now?
Yeah, like 940 something.
940. Yeah, that's impressive. That certainly puts you in the top, probably 8% or a few percent at EXP. So that's
considering I had 4 on a team once, I inherited 9 once. I brought 0 to my broker owner. It was just me. That was kind of the plan. Was I thought, I'll just I didn't really have time to get in and train agents, so I thought I'll just my own company, keep all the money. But yeah, it was kind of funny, Chris. Looking back, I had about 200 something agents one day, and an agent said, "I think you're just trying to recruit me." And I said, "No, I'm really just trying to present an opportunity." But maybe we get caught up in semantics here. So you're right, because one thing I know about helping agents is they're right. So yeah, you're right. I guess I am trying to recruit you.
Yeah.
And at the end, I thought, I don't think I've ever recruited anyone. So I started thinking, no, when I was broker owner, it was just me. And then when I was team leader of 4, I think the company put on 2, a friend talked his way on the team, and a lender gave me 1. And then when I was broker in charge, there was 9 when I got there, and there was 9 when I left. So, yeah, kind of odd that 900 and some odd agents later from a guy that had never recruited anyone. So, but it's probably because, emphasize the part of presenting an opportunity more so than recruiting someone or trying to.
Anyway. Absolutely. You can present it the same way to different people, and some people will see it as an opportunity that can change your lives, and other people, look at you like this, like you're
trying to recruit them,
trying to pull it off or something like that. So
yeah.
But it's everything's perception, and I can tell you that I am very blessed that my sponsor, Ian Flanagan, presented it to me as like my life would have been incredibly different and not nearly as good had that not happened. So I am very grateful for that.
Yeah. I'm a little unusual in that I found EXP for the most part myself. So no one called me. My sponsor didn't find me. I found them. And,
oh, wow.
So that, was looking for a brokerage change. We had a quarterly meeting, the company I was at. Frank came up and said, "What do you think?" I said, "I'm out of here." He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm not sure. Maybe Palmer House," which is transaction-ish only type company in Metro Atlanta. And I said, "I don't know, or maybe I'll go open up Cornerstone Realty Solutions again." And I'm not really sure, but I knew I was going to make a move. And he said, "Have you heard about EXP Realty?" I said, "Yeah, I don't think they're in Georgia." He said, "Yeah, they're in Georgia. You need to talk to this guy." He couldn't sponsor me. He wasn't at EXP. So he referred me to a friend of his, and then just didn't work out with that guy. He did a great job, except for a couple of questions, just didn't get a full answer to. So I was pretty sold on the concept of the model. So started doing research and kind of knew who I was looking for, and found that person, and called him up and said, "Hey, let's help me understand this and how I could make it work for me." And they did a pretty good job, or did a really good job. So
okay, awesome. I love getting those kind of calls.
Yeah, right. I would too.
Yeah. So how long have you been with us now? You said 4.5 years roughly?
Yeah, just over 4.5. So yeah, loving every minute of it, for the most part. I mean, it is like anything else, but there's ups and downs, but mostly ups. And love the fact that it's agent owned, and a lot of the decisions that come down from the top are geared toward the agent. So I love telling those stories. Like a long time ago, came out with express offers because agents wanted a cash offer option to compete with open door knock type companies. And, then shortly after that, I guess the agent said they wanted a healthcare option. So we came up with a good healthcare option. So those are 2 examples I like to use that maybe if there was a person or a family owning the company, may not have happened, because, if it was me owning a company and the employee said, or the agents or independent contractors or whatever came to me and said, "Hey, we want X," I would go, "All right, well, let me see what it's going to look to my bottom line. how much time, effort, energy is a really good idea for me and them, or me and them, or just me, right? So, being agent owned, that happens a little bit easier.
Yes, it is definitely more agent centric than anything I've ever seen before.
For sure.
In
Yeah.
terms of always, it's amazing how often we're adding value to the agents. I know we got a big announcement coming next month that I think is going to focus around lead generation. So we just signed that deal with realty.com, and I don't know if it's part of it or not, but I think
like it.
Wide open to where it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, it could be like a little bit of a national play on it, MLS type thing, maybe. We don't know, right?
Yeah, Glenn, I think in one of his posts I saw recently referred to it as a mic drop moment. So it'll be pretty exciting to see what happens then. So you've been in a lot of leadership roles over the course of your career, and I know you've sold a lot of real estate as well. Where are you now in your career? Are you still selling houses, or are you still focused on leadership and growth, or some mix between?
Mostly leadership and growth. I mean, I still have a couple of past clients that I'll probably take a listing this month from a past client for his daughter, and I'll probably try to put an agent on that co-op, let an agent co-op with me on that. I'm trying to really, but more so, I've been a rainmaker, trying to be a rainmaker and a leader. So help generate deals for agents. Just kind of getting started in that not too long ago. Building a team in Pensacola. I'm in Metro Atlanta. So helping a guy in Pensacola build a team. And I can sponsor to that team and help with the growth of that team. And then when that works well, then I'll be able to use that as a funnel for agents that I can sponsor and then help other people fill in on their teams and grow teams. So that's the direction I'm going. I'm pretty passionate about that. My superpower is not maybe the day-to-day production side for agents. I can do it, but I don't know why. It's just not. He does a really good job with that, and I think I can help grow the business side. And so once that works, then we're going to figure out how to duplicate that system and then pick up different teams around different areas and see if we can grow the company and that way. Because I'm real clear that I'm growing a company, not a team. Even if I'm growing a team, I think that some agents may make a misstep that they're just trying to grow a big team. But I think the concept for myself, and I don't like to tell anyone what to do, so I wouldn't, but the concept I think I've understood better for myself is if I could grow the company with the team model as opposed to grow the team with the company model, we may can have a lot more duplication and growth than if I grew a team under a company model.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the beauties of this company is just that you do actually have your own company within the company, and if you treat it like it's a business in and of itself, you'll get a lot more mileage out of it and everything. So I kind of think of myself as owning my own virtual international brokerage.
Yeah. I have a friend that tells me all the time, you know what we're doing? We're building a brokerage within a brokerage. And I'm like, yep.
Yes. And how many markets are you in as far as states and countries?
I should know that. So I don't just usually say over 25 states. I have a big presence in Canada, probably, I don't know, at least a few hundred agents up there, probably 3 or so. And then more that probably many, many hundreds if you go outside of my 7-level generation, because there's lots of agents that are on level 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, but and that's due to helping a friend bring over a friend who we helped bring over another friend. And he had a friend in Canada who had an independent brokerage and came over, and he started bringing some pretty high-level people over that bring other high-level people over. So I don't know the exact state number, but over half of them, and then Canada. I think I've got a couple in Brazil and a couple in Mexico. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's amazing how it works. A lot of times people say, well, I don't know anybody in that country or something, but somebody who does. I haven't brought anybody in from any international markets, but I'm in a lot of countries now. So
yeah, there you go. Good.
People who know people.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So how's your role in real estate look like now versus before? When you're pre-EXP, How have things changed for you and your family?
Yeah, so it's really just so far I've just traded the time from opening doors and putting signs in the yard to helping agents and helping agents grow, um, present opportunities, and then try to help with some production type answers, and then also working really hard. It took quite a while, about a year and a half, for me to find the right guy to start the team with or to help with the team. So that was, I think that was my fourth or fifth effort at finding someone that I could partner with and or that could take some of the responsibility. Here's what I did do, Chris. Not about 2 years ago, I realized I was somewhat getting close to a ceiling. I kept hitting a certain number personally. Now the team kept, or the organization kept growing, but my personal number kept kind of hitting the ceiling, bouncing, staying right around that same number. So I started looking at the top of the company to the top FLQA. I wasn't really concerned about the top FLA. And I found, and I've researched this quite a bit, and I've talked to some other people, so am I missing something? So basically, what I found is the three common denominators is they either have a team, they have someone helping with production or running production for their front line, or they are a coach and they coach and offset some of coaching for sponsorship. Or there's a fourth one is somewhat where they have a course that they can leverage, but then they kind of coach and train to the course. So I kind of call that, one thing.
Social media influence.
Yeah. But then it's still that their course that they're, positioning information to help agents in production. So, I've asked a lot of people, am I missing anything? Is there another one? And there's not, as far as I've been told. And then I said, look, even if there's like one person that's not in that category, that I'm not looking for one. I'm trying to duplicate success in masses. So with that said, I realized that you need to either have a team, someone in charge of my production, and I'm probably not going to start being a high level coach and not going to create a course. I guess I could. I have a webinar that's kind of going in that direction, but it'll take a while, and that's not a main focus. So, with that said, I thought that's a good way for growth. And then one of the top agents in the company is, really big on having a team as a funnel for qualifying agent count. So kind of like that concept, I love the thought, and I've told many, many agents in my group and other groups, hey, we're a real estate company with a revenue share model. We're not an MLM company with a real estate, model. So why don't we focus on real estate?
Yeah, and for all the critics that say that, we're not, the charts and rankings say it all, right?
Yeah, selling a lot of real estate.
Selling a ton of real estate.
Yep.
And growing fast. So really impressed the not only increase in agent count, but the fact that our production, both number of sides and volume has been increasing faster than that. So which attests to the quality of agents we're bringing on.
Yeah, I think it's a higher level agent than it was 2 or 3 years ago. I think maybe we made it through that where agents chasing shiny objects maybe came over, and then they didn't really, nothing magical happens wherever you move your license if you just move your license and don't do anything. So that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, I think, a certain point in the past too, it was still kind of an unproven concept, and some of the most successful agents may have been a little more reluctant to move their successful business over. And, now we've become proven and established. I think it's a lower risk proposition for them. So, and they've seen the light. So glad to see our progression over the years. It's been quite a change since I joined, when it seems like, it was just like dirt roads, and we had a little trailer and a lot for the sales office.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
That was August 26th of 2016 was.
Yeah, so about a year and a half ahead of me. When I first came on, I would tell agents that we should have you on board in 10 to 14 days. And they're like, what? I could be at so-and-so brokerage by noon. I'm like, you're not just moving your license. There's a big opportunity here. So looking back, that was a challenge.
Yeah, there were certainly some growing pains in those years, but it was certainly worth it to everybody that stuck around. And, nothing worth achieving happens without some kind of cost or growing pains.
Yeah. Now it's, same day, next day, depends on the agent, maybe the next day if you, but if you open your email and are ready, then we can have you on board super fast.
Yeah. So, you know, so you just kind of accidentally fell into almost learning about EXP through a colleague.
Mm-hmm.
At that point in your business, you were already pretty seasoned. You
Mm-hmm.
probably thought you'd seen it all and everything. Is that something that you ever thought something like this would, or a role like you have now, would ever come into play?
No, I was kind of sold and understand that, or was kind of being shown the direction of maybe a team would do what EXP is telling me. This was prior to EXP for me, but maybe a team would be that solution. I've told many agents that one day, it's a true story. One day I did wake up and think, man, I don't have 20 years worth of to address concerns left in me, and that form addressing concerns on the contracts. And so I thought, what in the heck am I going to do? Because I couldn't make the kind of money. I'm not, and maybe kind of say this jokingly, maybe I'm not hireable. And, if I was hireable,
you relate to that
for you too long. Yeah, I'd probably think I'm not working here. So I was kind of worried and wasn't sure what I was going to do, but knew that the team answer hadn't worked for me. Not to say it doesn't work, but it hadn't worked for me up to that point. And I was either needed to figure that out fast or find something else. And that's when I found the EXP. So, not saying anything good or bad about teams. I think there's a need for teams. If you're not on a team, you're a new agent, I'd probably tell you to consider that. Teams can be great. It just, maybe team's right for an agent at one point. I probably should have been on a team at the beginning of my career, instead of trying to figure it out for a long, long time and not being able to at some degree. So, I'm real excited that the opportunity came along. If it hadn't, I probably, my plan prior to EXP was to try to make more money, try to save some more money, try not to have life kick me in the rear end along the way. And, wife, 2 kids, kids were heading to college. And so that's, if anybody's put kids in college or have kids in college, you're not in total control of the amount of money you get to save each month because stuff happens.
Right.
Yeah. So I was kind of concerned. I'm super grateful. I'm a super blessed guy and full of gratitude. So I, stay in that area and, praise God for what I have and go from there on that.
Yeah. Well, Dan, one thing, it's interesting. We have a lot of agents who are watching this and who will see this that are relatively new to business. We've had a lot of turmoil in the real estate market the last 6 months or so. It seems like things might be kind of ticking back on the upside a little bit, but you've seen it all. I mean, market cycles from feast to famine and so forth, and for different circumstances.
Yep.
Is there any kind of perspective you can offer to some of the newer agents?
About
hanging tight and how to adapt to have a sustainable long-term business?
Yeah, maybe it won't be as specific as they like. If they need to be more specific, they can reach out to you or myself. But my thought, what I learned from the last big downturn was what I did to survive was I found an investor I actually found a guy that was fixing up a house. He had a cash guy, and I basically sold myself on, hey, I will be your agent and I will put lowball offers into banks all day, every day if I can be your guy. So I survived selling 30 to 50, maybe $70,000 houses on a good day. And that's pretty rough price range, 30 to 50, sometimes 70, if you're having a great day. And not a lot of them either, like 2 or 3 a month. So it's pretty tough. I got a little bit of money when I also found somebody go on the property. But what I learned from that was, all it would have done was taken a little tweaking on my part to go find a fix-up guy and a cash guy, because I was doing the majority of the work. I was finding the property. Well, I don't know if I was doing the majority of the work, but kind of. I was finding the properties, and then I was going to the properties and analyzing the properties, putting offers in on the properties, and then putting offers in again if they weren't bought in like a week or two. And so, instead of me making 3% of 30 or 50 years, sometimes $70,000, if I would have taken a day or two or a week and then gone and found a cash guy and a contractor, then I could have had been picking up 10 or 20 or 40,000 a pop like they were. So there's always an opportunity, and I had a friend not too long ago when the market first started shifting, said, "Hey, you're in some pretty high level rooms. What are these really strong agents and what are they afraid of?" I laughed and said, "They're not afraid of anything. They're excited about the opportunity, and it doesn't matter, right? There's an opportunity. So maybe you're in the wrong place, maybe with the wrong folks." Maybe you haven't taken a breath and looked around to see where the opportunity is, but there's always opportunity, and there's an opportunity right around the corner in a good market or a bad market.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a big key is, recognize the change in the current and swim with it, not against it.
Yeah, for sure.
So you mentioned the investor market, it's those times drive typically when retail is down and, if you want to play in that, learn to raise capital and buy deals. Tons of money to be made doing that as well.
Yep. Yeah. If it gets real bad, then go find an investor. Go find an investor to be their agent, and then that's good repeat business and learn a lot from that. And that's not a bad, might not be a bad direction to go. If can't hurt because you can get some multiple deals fill in from your onesie deals. So it could be a good way. Call every for rent sign you see in a yard and see if they might be interested in selling. Some of those folks are wanting to sell, just don't know what to do, and they need a little help.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably becoming some wary landlords, especially after all that during COVID.
Yeah, all the rules changes. Yep.
Okay, Dan. Well, hey, I appreciate your time this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a pleasure talking with you as always. Normally I ask what's the best way to reach you. I see you got your phone number in your footer. Yeah. Is that the best way you prefer for people to reach out if they have any questions or?
Yeah, just give me a call. I'm kind of old school. They don't need a text first. Call me, and if I don't pick up, I'll text you and say, "Hey, I'm free in like 30 minutes or whatever the case is." So yeah, I appreciate that, Chris.
Okay, awesome. Hey, thanks again. Appreciate it. Good talking with you, and hope folks watching us learn some valuable information from you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, hopefully we'll talk soon. Maybe tonight on our meeting.
Okay, sounds great. Look forward to it.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.